Hi everyone, it's Debbie. I just wanted to take a moment to more formally introduce myself as the face and the person behind my Facebook and Instagram pages. My name is Debbie Zeichner, and it's so nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. I just wanted to take a moment to just kind of pop in here and share a little bit about my story. And really my intention is to, over time and ongoing, to really create more of a connected community here and get some engagement going. So I got into this work many, many years ago. I previously worked as a psychotherapist. I had a private practice, and then I became a mom. And I quickly realized that parenting was way harder than I ever thought it was going to be. And I thought I was going to have it figured out, given that I came from the psychology and therapy field. And I was very, very wrong. It wasn't true. I know so many of my friends would say that they just felt this instant connection with their baby, that parenting and motherhood just came so naturally to them. And I was always so envious because I did not feel like that. It did not come so easily to me. In fact, I struggled a lot. And I just remember I was always putting so much pressure on myself to get it right and have it figured out. And why didn't I know what I was doing? And why wasn't my baby calm? And why was he still crying after so long? And I just had so much anxiety. I felt so overwhelmed and really isolated, especially as that new mom. It was hard. It was a really, really, really hard time. And as isolated as I felt, I also started to realize that I couldn't do it alone. So I started to really dive into positive parenting, to positive discipline, to mindfulness. I did a lot of my own, work. I did a lot of research in the area. I became certified to teach some of the courses, just so that I could really get a handle on my own parenting and my own sense of confidence. And what I found was that it actually started working. I started feeling calmer. I started feeling more confident. My kids, as they were getting older, were becoming more cooperative. So I really started to just feel so passionate about, really supporting parents and really encouraging parents in their own journeys and on their own journeys, and really learning how to feel more of their own confidence and learning how to connect with their kids. So I'm so excited to be here. And I've really been wanting to do these videos for quite some time. And I realized I was getting in my own way. I was just feeling kind of some self-doubt about getting on camera. I was feeling insecure. Was I going to have anything to say? Was I going to completely blank out? Would anybody listen or tune in? And it's funny because it made me think so much about parenting and about so much of the self-doubt and insecurity that comes up for us as parents. Questions like, am I doing this right? Am I totally messing up my kid? Is my kid going to be in therapy for life because I said X, Y, and Z, right? Just really this constant self-doubt and these insecurities and these worries that we have. And I talk about this with parents all the time. I almost feel like it's this epidemic. And so I want to let you know that if you're having any of those self-doubts or insecurities or worries, you're not alone. I'm certainly right there with you. And I know that there's a whole community of parents that is right there with you. And, one of the things I've been really focused on lately, especially in working with parents, is kind of for myself and just sharing this idea of staying in our own lane. That it can be so easy to go to that place of comparison, to, compare our child with another child as far as, certain developmental milestones or certain things that child is doing. Or, for those of us with older kids, why is that child in all honors classes and my child isn't? Or, why does that child have so many more athletic abilities than my child, right? It can be so easy to go to that place of comparison. Also comparing ourselves with other parents. That parent seems so much more calm than I am, or why can't I handle my child like that parent, or that parent seems to have it so figured out, right? We tend to really go to these places, and we go to them really often. And so I think really that first step is just being able to become aware that that's happening. Right? The moment that we can become aware that that's happening, it gives us some control over what we choose to do next. And so just learning to take that pause, to give ourselves some compassion, some self-compassion, just reminding ourselves that we're not alone. This is really hard work. And again, reminding ourselves that idea of just, I need to stay in my own lane, right? Because when we tend to do those comparisons, we tend to go to that place of self-doubt. When we go to those places, we actually really disconnect ourselves. We disconnect ourselves, unfortunately, from those who we really need around us. We disconnect ourselves from our families. We disconnect ourselves from friends who are really there, ideally, to support us. And we also, unfortunately, disconnect from our child who is right in front of us and who needs us, right? Because that moment we start to go into that place of really listening to that inner critic who can be so relentless. It's really exhausting, and it takes us out of the present moment where we need to be most, right? We're doing the best we can. We're all doing the very best we can. Our kids are doing the very best we can. And I think it's just so helpful for us to just slow down, give ourselves some grace, give ourselves some compassion, and just remind ourselves that we're all in this together. So that's really my hope and my intention, is to continue to provide some support, some encouragement, maybe some inspiration, to get some engagement going here. So if you want to leave in the comments maybe some questions that you have, some topics that you would like me to address, maybe it's just something that you're struggling with, I guarantee you're not the only one going through it. And I think once we can put it out there and say, yes, I'm struggling with this too, and just be heard and allow ourselves to be vulnerable, it's really freeing, I can tell you. I felt really vulnerable even just coming on camera, and here I am, and I did it. Woohoo, I did it. So anyway, thank you so much for being here and just taking a few minutes to listen. Please let me know how I can support you, and I look forward to doing these videos on a more regular basis. So bye for now, and I'll see you soon.